guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I prepared 6 things you need to know by the time you are a qualified occupational therapist. This is a non-negotiable entry level into occupational therapy. By the time you finish your degree, you need to kind of understand and know these 6 basic, simple principles, which obviously you're going to gradually learn from first year to second year to third year to fourth year. Firstly, there are different competencies between an occupational therapist and an occupational therapy assistant, and we know that the duration of these two professions are different, and it takes 4 years for an occupational therapist, and the occupational therapist actually graduates with an honors degree, which is then an entry level, a master's entry level or a doctorate entry level. I think if you are like a cum laude, you can go straight into doctorates, but I stand corrected, I'm not sure. But by the time you finish your degree, you are able to get into your master's. Occupational therapy technician, they have to do a degree for 2 years. With having said that, obviously the depth of study is different, and occupational therapists need to go into more depth in terms of what knowledge they need to come out with by the time they finish. But there's commonalities within what both professions are exposed to, and both of them are exposed to biology, physical, social, behavioral sciences, and they basically need to know the basic tenets of occupational therapy. These are non-negotiables that we are all exposed to within the university process. There's also an emphasis in education for both parties on these specific topics: advocacy, lifelong learning, professional ethics, values, and responsibilities. What exactly do you need to know? So for me, I would say you need to kind of create a checklist for yourself in first year. Yes, they give you objectives at the beginning of the year that by the time you finish occupational therapy first year, these are the things that you need to know. So I'm saying by the time you finish your occupational therapy degree, these are the things that you need to know. And along the lines of your OT schooling, you need to have ticked off all of these things by the time you walk across that stage, hopefully. Number 1, comprehend and know how to apply the various theoretical perspectives of occupational therapy. What does that mean? So basically, application is everything when it comes to occupational therapy. Everything that you learn in theory, you need to be able to apply it within occupational therapy specific context. So just a simple example, if you have a psychiatric patient, they have a substance-induced psychosis, there is a whole terminology and a whole aspect of what creates substance-induced psychosis, what are the coping mechanisms, what is the treatment, all of those things. But then you need to take all of that information and apply it to in occupational therapy, which then means you are considering your whole client and you are looking at how is their background affecting their current status right now. What kind of environment is the client going back to? What kind of social circumstances is the client going to face by the time they leave a certain institution or hospital where they are, and be able to theoretically apply all that knowledge you have received, whether it's medical, collateral, all of those things, apply it specifically to occupational therapy in terms of roles, have interpretations of what does that substance-induced psychosis actually mean for a client who is 16 and is a student. Comprehend, but be able to apply them to a specific person who is an occupational being. Number 2. So with number 2, you need to understand the evaluation process, which emphasizes the interpretation of assessment in terms of the underlying factors contributing to problems of occupational performance, as well as provides barriers or support in participation of daily life. What does this mean? So basically, you need to be able to look at a client and be able to take everything that you have assessed, look how it is affecting the client's occupational performance, the contributing factors around the occupational performance, whether it's environment, it's social, it's medical, whatever a contributing factor then becomes a barrier or a support in participation of daily living. You need to be able to understand that evaluation process by looking at somebody and saying, okay, what is contributing to their occupational performance, or what is disturbing their occupational performance? What are the barriers that are hindering them from having a successful participation in their daily living? Or what is the support that is helping them be able to participate in daily living? So basically, you constantly need to be thinking around those areas when you are engaging with a client, when you are engaging with a patient. Their occupational performance is one of the things that you need to specifically be mindful of. You need to be able to see what parts need fixing or need assistance in order for this person to participate in daily activities, which is exactly what occupational therapy is at the end of the day. So number 3, now you are at a point where you are going to be able to use all of that information, all of the data that you've the assessment data that you have collected, to be able to create an intervention plan that is client-centered, client-specific, and in collaboration with the client. So it's not to say that sometimes we have things that we need to deal with as occupational therapists, such as insights. People need to have an understanding of their condition in order for them to take care of themselves, in order for them to make decisions that are best for them. And we understand that that is a skill, it's a higher order skill that comes later on when somebody has come into full fruition of their insight of their condition. You are looking at creating a plan that is reflecting your clients from the assessment data that you've collected. It is reflecting them and how best they are able to achieve the occupational performance that they need to be in or that they are desiring. So it doesn't mean that you need to now, work on their insights. If it's a substance-induced psychosis patient, sometimes substance-induced psychosis patients are very in denial about their situation. So you can go around it by asking the clients, look, by the time you leave here, what are the things that you want to be able to do? Maybe the client can give you something as simple as, I want to be able to wake up in the morning, do my bed, brush my teeth, wash, and do my chores. So those are simple things that some people actually lose when they are in institutions. They either become dependent upon other people to do it for them, or for other people to create that structure for them. So maybe they want to be able, by the time they leave, to be independent in waking up by themselves, taking their own medication by themselves, doing their chores, making their bed, and making sure they've taken a bath within, that's their routine that they want to kind of focus on. And that's what you can work on within making sure that the intervention plan is in collaboration with the clients, because that's also when you're going to get buy-in with the clients, where you are doing things that they at the end of the day want to achieve. Well, sometimes it could be more complicated than that, because sometimes people are not really aware of their abilities versus their current, or not their abilities, but sometimes a person may think that they're capable of doing more than they're actually able to do. So you kind of have to help the client manage that expectation about themselves, to manage the expectation that they have for themselves when they go out into the world, where they think that things are going to be as easy as they are in the hospital or in the the institution. So you kind of have to create that environment where the client is moving towards what they want, but they are they are one in terms of where they think they are and where they actually are. So it's a kind of a very difficult process when you think about it, but I'm explaining it in terms of, like, you know, the worst case scenario. Maybe with a spinal cord injured patient, they want to be able to transfer from the chair onto their wheelchair independently by the time they finish or by the time they leave. Something as simple as that you can make sure that the client achieves by the time they leave. So it all depends on your setting, and it all depends on where your client is and what the client wants to do. So also with a spinal cord injured patient, it's a new acquired injury that they have, and they are thinking that they are probably able to do this or achieve this way quicker than it actually is looking like, well, in the current moment. So you as a therapist have to be able to manage that and help them work slowly and gradually towards that goal that they want to meet. So it differs whether you are in the physical or whether you are in the psychiatric field. You obviously have to always manage the client's expectations of what they think they're capable of to what they are capable of in this moment. And in having done so, you're able to create a collaboration where the client is able to work with you and understand that, okay, you do have an idea of what's good for me, and yes, we're working towards that, but because we're not there yet, these are the other components that we can work at that are going to eventually lead us to that specific place. And when you learn that from the get-go, you will notice a different kind of synergy and a different kind of relationship with your patients. When you incorporate your clients in the manner in which I'm explaining, and when you're getting buy-in, and when you're making sure that you're collaborating goals and those kind of things, this is actually working towards improving their occupational performance and improving their participation in their lives of their daily activities. They are getting to participate more and more in their daily life. So that will help them a great deal. Number 4, so you as the OT are now fully responsible of the occupational therapy process. The occupational therapy process is something that I have spoken about in a previous video. Just a quick summary: you need to be able to do screening, evaluation, intervention, outcomes, and re-evaluation. That's just the simple basic of what the occupational therapy process is, where you are screening and you are identifying the things, or you are finding out more about the patients and why they are here. Evaluation is the assessments and everything that you are going to have to do in order for you to understand that what is the gap. There's that specific gap that the clients was before and where they are now. There's things that have happened in the interim that have brought them here, and you need as the therapist to fill that gap so that they are going back to their previous duties and roles and activities of daily living, or they are going into a new life which is going to also be able to help still engage in daily life. Number 5, so by the time you finish varsity, you will be trained in a different number of service models. Now, what are these service models? Okay, we have educational, medical, and community. So I will be honest, in terms of educational, varsity does not really go into the depths of the school education system or the country's education system. It does not, because if it would have to do that, then we'd have to spend an additional 2 years in school. Varsity is very thorough on medical, which is hospital and clinics, and community, which is rural. It's very thorough. You will have an idea of the service models. You'll be able to apply your knowledge in those specific fields. Where it comes to education, you will learn about education when you get to education. Last but not least, as the OT, now you are able to read literature, and from reading literature, you are able to determine how to use and apply research. Like, you will be able to read articles or journals, and from that, you can create an application process for yourself to be able to implement that knowledge that you've learned. And that's basically what you need to be gradually taking off your list the whole time. So application of knowledge and application of everything that you have grasped is very, very important in occupational therapy. It is one of the most crucial skills that you need to have an understanding on how to apply. Every time you think occupational therapy, think, how do I apply this knowledge to OT? Well, I hope that was pretty helpful for you, and I really do wish you the best in this academic year. It is very challenging, but use your online resources. With having said that, thank you so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.